It's a good day to be out on the patio.
It's a good day to be out on any patio. It's I noticed your shoes.
They're federal relief shoes.
I remember that young man. He came around here.
He had a big satchel and a big grin on his
42
face.
years ago today.
Yeah, Truman was in the White House.
I remember.
He played the piano.
Truman?
Yeah, he played not very well.
No,
but
he didn't. He was crippled, wasn't he?
I think from the hip down, yeah.
And you didn't vote for him, which
I voted for Dewey, and I was very disappointed when I saw the paper.
Who wouldn't be? Dewey was, he had those, a lot like President Kroger in many ways.
And Dewey had done his job in World War II in the Pacific Theater.
Killed several Italians, as I recall, well before we were at war with the Italians.
I think in about 1936 he went over there.
It caused some controversy. Of course, they counted it towards his World War II counts later on. So.
As well as his obliteration of the Japanese in 1937.
There's many a mass murderer who could benefit by post-dating his criminal activities.
And tying it to a war effort. When we were in the war...
They won't listen. They won't listen to ideas like that.
No, they don't. They think we're old. They think they just see a bunch of old...
worn out.
Brain-dead old farts that don't got nothing to say.
They don't care. They don't care. I could walk down the street handing out wisdom, and you know what I'd get back?
You'd get spat on. What you'd get.
Straight in my face.
Even Miss Sharon probably just laugh at you.
Oh, Sharon, ever since I said that stuff to her, she hadn't been in a good mood, so...
Well, you're just being truthful to her, telling her that her false teeth didn't look right, and they didn't.
You got to tell somebody when it... You need to speak the truth.
Your teeth
I believe in speaking the truth.
I do, too, and I was behind you 100% because her teeth were blue.
Oh, Ernie, you hadn't gone an entire day in your life speaking nothing but the truth.
Well, it's cost me a lot of friends. It cost me... Georgia, it cost me 3 marriages, and I've got 2 children and a grandchild that...
I don't know how you keep up with them all.
They don't speak to me.
You don't know the grandchildren's name, do you?
No,
Hell, you know your cat better than your grandchildren.
I do, and I trust my cat better than I do those damn kids.
As far as you can throw him?
Yeah. He's kind of heavy, though, and he has some hip problems, so I don't throw him.
I had hip problems.
We've all had hip problems, George.
Well, not everybody. President Kroger hadn't had them.
No, he had his hips surgically replaced with those Mylar.
Of course, that's the way he is.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't vote for him, but he's doing all right.
I think he's I saw in the paper that he's come up with a new plan.
The paper's going out of business.
Yeah, it's a sad thing. Skinnier and skinnier all the time.
Pretty soon it's going to be one letter in a column, one letter after another in a column.
George, you remember how the Sunday newspaper used to be something we all look forward to?
I read the comical funnies in there.
They would wrap them around the outside of the paper.
Gasoline, was it Vaseline Alley?
Gasoline Alley. You had Smitty. You had...
They got older. They got not like them damn Simpsons, and they stayed the same age. I swear to you, Bart Simpson, he's about 30 years old now, and yet, do they say that? They don't want us to know.
But Skizix, I think he's older than we are now.
No, he's not in the Simpsons. He's in that Vaseline Alley.
Vaseline Alley. The one that I used to spend all my whole Sunday staring at was that Terry and the Pirates.
Uh-huh. That was a girl's name, Terry.
And that was the thing. I couldn't make heads or tails out of that thing.
Well, there wasn't no pirates. I never saw
No, I kept looking every Sunday. I thought...
You had to read between the lines.
I thought it might be a puzzle where you had to look in the background. There might be pirates.
There could have been pirates behind trees.
But all I saw was Jeeps and Quonset huts and men in uniform and a lot of talking.
No damn pirates. The only thing I could decide was they were hidden behind things.
Mm-hmm. Just like in real life.
They're pirates.
I was at the library.
There's the internet pirates.
And then there's the street pirates. I was at the library the other day. I was looking for a Clancy book in the Easy Eye section.
Bill Clancy?
Tom Clancy.
His brother?
Yeah. I was in the
He's a good young man.
He is. He knows his way around a battleship, too. But I was in the large print section, and this man in a colorful bandana accosted me.
A pirate?
He was a pirate. He had flowing pants, one of them eye patch things, wore a rather large belt.
Which reminds me, there ain't no sense to the name Johnny Depp. That's the thing you put in your hair, isn't it?
Yeah. I wouldn't go naming myself after any hair product.
Bill Gel.
Harvey Brill Cream.
Charlie Moose. No, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that boy is one of the most successful motion picture stars of all time.
I can't about him. He got the attitude.
Well, he did something good. He made pirates very obvious. He brought them out in the open.
They're not hidden them, Well, that's important.
Those apples up there look like they're going to get ripe pretty soon.
Oh, don't you go climbing up there. You hurt your hip bone.
George, they're going to fall on us soon enough.
Yeah, that's like the Isaac Newton.
I'm just saying that from now on, we better find some kind of hard hat to wear out here when they wheel us, because...
I got some of my grandson's shoulder pads. We could also wear.
That'd be good. And I've got a catcher's mitt that I think I'll bring out, because last year, every time the nurses would wheel me out here, I'd think, if I could just catch me one of them falling apples, because most of them are, except for the ones that the birds drill in, are good.
They keep the doctor away.
Yeah, they do. And in this place, that would be a privilege.
Oh, don't you get started on the doctors and the medical care.
Well, since President Kroger put through that mandatory doctor yourself bill.
Yeah. I tell them down at the home about President Kroger, and they look at me like I'm crazy.
Same thing.
They don't know. They don't want them to know.
They don't. They're just ignoring the truth. It's like, I saw that Kroger had put through this thing called eggnog every day.
Yeah.
Where he said that for health we were supposed to drink one 12-ounce glass of eggnog.
The thing about President Kroger? Something new every damn day.
It's true. Every time I wake up, there's some new thing.
Eggnog's all right, though.
Yeah, I thought, we only have it a couple of times a year, and they serve them in those little paper cups that you can hardly get a taste of it.
You'd have to be a damn midget.
And I'll steal a couple others. There's a lefty and
short man.
Yep. I just kind of reach. There's a couple of the older ones that aren't too bright upstairs. They just wheel them in and sit them in there, and they don't eat their cake. They don't drink their punch.
I believe that's offensive to midgets.
Well, I don't make the rules. Nor do I enforce.
Nor do I, my friend. I would never presume to do that.
No, sir, that's best left for men of justice, men like Dewey and Kroger.
They're better when they have a little alcohol in them.
That one looks like it's about to drop.
You could make some applesauce. That's good for the digestion.
I just wish I had a hat on. I don't want to get bonked on the cabeza with that thing.
No. It would take you or me, only one man, to get that, but several midgets to get that on top of one another's shoulder.
And that'd be very well. You'd have to make sure the bottom midget was the strongest one and had a good solid back.
How would you go about determining that, though? You couldn't feel the little muscles because they're gonna.
I just have to take them on their word.
You could wrestle it.
Yeah, I guess I could. with one arm, and if they could defeat me that way, I'd know that they were.
I believe you could be arrested though for assaulting a midget.
Well, as my father told me, he was a lawyer. He said you always get something, a signature.
Get
always
it in writing.
Get
and read the fine print. For instance, if there's no pirates, don't say there's pirates.
Exactly. And if there's no girl, well, I would have rather that comic strip didn't even have a name.
I call it Leroy and the Pirates.
Yeah, Leroy and no pirates.
That would be honesty in advertising.
Well, on the subject of the funny papers, one more thing that's always bothered me, George. Little orphan Annie.
Yeah.
You know how her eyes were always just those little zeros?
That would.
Remember for a while that they put little pupils in those zeros?
Didn't they? I missed that sequence.
That scared the bejesus out of
I
me.
would much rather no dots in the blind eyes.
I used to.
And who did this thing and why?
It's lost to time, George.
What did they do it one at a time or in mass publications? That would have been difficult to do one at a time.
It may have been.
Maybe it was someone doing it to your newspaper.
That would be the same chap that would blacken in certain extra squares in a crossword.
I can't stand that boy.
We had him lynched, you know. One of the last public lynchings in the country.
The crossword puzzle.
It was a paste up, a rascal who did the paste up, and he just couldn't. He had shifty fingers, and he'd color in a couple of little boxes.
Ruined it for everybody. All it takes is one bad apple.
And you know, me and my son did crossword. That's been the highlight of my week for the last 55
Every time we go
years.
out and eat, you grab them old newspapers. Hell, you could have done it already, and you still grab it. That's something I admire about it.
Well, it's called short-term memory. It makes
That makes a lot of things. It makes life better.
I may have been working the same 2 puzzles for the last 5 years, but I get maximal enjoyment out of them. You know, but I remember other things like it was yesterday. Coming home from the war.
Yesterday? You came home from the war yesterday.
Oh, no, I'm saying I remember it as if it was yesterday. The smell of my duffel bag.
You had a bad smelling duffel bag.
The boots. They always...
You should have cleaned your feet.
Yeah, I wiped them on the duffel bag.
That was the first mistake that you made.
But it was the only thing out there in the theater of war that had traction to get the mud off my boots.
I never cared much for war in the theater. It's John Wayne. You know, it wasn't like that, the way John Wayne says it was.
It was messy, very, very, and dull. That was the thing. In real life, the theater of war, very, very tiring and dull.
Less popcorn.
And no refreshment stands whatsoever. You're just out there in a mud hole with
no preview,
with men yelling and firing things, and you're supposed to be killing someone, but I never saw fit to kill anybody.
I never shot nothing either. I didn't see no point in it.
I shot at squirrels when I was a boy. Of course, everybody did.
I guess we've been at war with squirrels for a long time.
Yeah,
they're sons of bitches.
They at least put up a good fight.
Do they? You fight with the squirrels?
Well, I'm looking at that one up there. He's
kind of shifty looking, ain't he?
He's got his eye on that apple.
I wonder if he's a Nazi.
He might be. Look for a little armband.
Oh my goodness! I swear I see it.
I do too. It's as red as an apple.
Well,
it's a Nazi.
That's a bad choice he made in his life.
He joined up with the wrong team, just like I did in my marriages to Vivian, Bernice,
Lucille,
and the worst of all, Lucille.
How'd you sign up with them girls?
George,
it was firecrackers, all 3 of them.
Oh, they gave me more headaches, and they ran through more bankrolls than...
I'm kind of glad the old firework don't light anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I am too. I'm kind of glad that the oven went to solar heat.